Okay, so when you first log into EpiCenter, you will come to this summary page. Now this is kind of just an overview of what's going on in the area. In this case, we're looking at the whole state of New Jersey. And as you can see, you have different, your different classifiers as their own individual charts. And then in the chart, you also have all of the many of the classifications available. I shouldn't say all, but many of the classifications available. And so you can take a look and just kind of see an overview if there's anything drastic that sticks out, such as, for example, if you have a very low number of counts or very high number of counts for a particular day, you could look further into that. So that just gives you an overview of what's going on. From there, we're going to go ahead, and just for this is always set to a week. And then you can choose a date to focus on, and then it will automatically go back a week. You can also, if you'd like to look at a particular facility or a particular county, you can change that here as well. This is, it will autofill if you type anything in. So let's go ahead and just start to type Hamilton. And you can.
Actually, Hamilton is not a county. It's actually they're part of Mercer County. So filling out Mercer might be easier.
All right. Thank you. There we go. So you can go and specify that, and if you resubmit it, it will recalculate everything, and it'll give you just the week's worth of information for Mercer County. Moving forward from there, we're going to go into our Charts tab. Now, in this Charts tab, you can look at a variety of data. You can pretty much change any of the specifications that you would like to. So you can change. So let's go ahead and select Mercer County again. And we will look at a month of data. We'll start from today's date. This time period can be changed. You can go, I don't know if you can read that little information thing there, but you can do a day, a month, a couple months. The longer back you go, the more data you pull. It's going to take a little bit longer to pull it just because the system is generating all of that data for you. You can also choose your analysis method. So if you'd like to use a particular analysis method to look at your data to set your threshold, you can do that. So we'll go ahead and set QSIM EMA. To further kind of specify what you would like, if you need to change, if you want to change your threshold multiplier, or if you want to smooth out your predicted value, you can do that here too. And that was just this little wheel next to the analysis method. You can also choose if you'd like to condition your data for the day of week effect. So there are natural cases such as alcohol-related visits. So you'll see more of those on the weekends, and you'll see more visits in general on Mondays. So if you'd like to condition those elements out, you can. You can choose the way you'd like to represent your data. So you can do number of records, percentage of all records, or rate per 100,000 of the population. You can also total by different time periods, and you can plot predicted values, which we are going to do. And then down here you see your classifiers. So everyone should have access to the infectious disease symptoms. This is going to be your fever, your asthma, things like that. You're also going to have access, I know everyone also has access to your severe weather classifier, which these are all classifications that have been created specifically for any severe weather events. So those are particularly useful during those times, or if you were going to do some research into any particular visits during when Jonas hit, that would be a very useful tool. And you also have another one is syndrome, which is another big one that people like to use to look at the bigger overarching classifications that people would come in for. You can narrow down by age group, by gender, by provider type, and you could also total either by facility location or home location. So we will go ahead and, since it is flu season, we're going to plot a couple charts here just to get an idea of what they look like. So we'll do nausea. You can also multi-select if you would like using the control button. You can multi-select different classifications as well. So if my mouse will work, there we go. So I have plotted nausea, and then I'm also going to, so there we go. So this is the chart that pulls up. I'm going to make it bigger. If you click on it, it'll make it bigger. There we go. And you can see that the green line here is our predicted value. The blue line is our actual value. And then the red line here is the QSUM EMA threshold, which is 4 times the standard deviation. That's what it is default set at. So any time that the actual counts exceed the threshold, you will generate an anomaly. As long as the actual counts is the number of records and the percentage of records exceed the threshold and you have more than 10 counts, then you will generate an anomaly, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. From this screen, you can also download your counts and you can view your patient information of all the patient records that contributed to this chart. You can expand any particular row to view more information about that interaction, and you can download your patient information, either a CSV or Excel file, if you need to do further analysis. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to jump over here to our anomalies tab because I mentioned it. So as I said, as long as an actual count exceeds the threshold value in percentage of all records and number of records, and there are more than 10 counts, and the exact same anomaly has not been generated in the past 24 hours, then you will create an anomaly which will show up on this screen here. Now if you click on any of these anomalies, this is what is going to come up for you. You'll see that this is split in quadrants here. In the upper left quadrant, we have the information about the anomaly. So we have the number of interactions that were identified. We have the analysis method that was used, the time period, the 24-hour time period that was used to generate the anomaly, and you have also the area that the anomaly was generated in. You can also see on this map here on the upper right-hand side, the pin will be in the middle, the centroid of the location. So this pin should be in the middle of Sussex County for this particular anomaly. You also have a chart, which is very similar to the charts we just viewed on the charts page. You can click on it and expand it. You can download the counts. You can view the patient information. You can also download the patient information. And now in this chart, you have the dotted blue line that will extend for 5 days past the anomaly, and that will show the counts, so that if you're looking at an anomaly, you can see what the counts did immediately after for the 5 days after that anomaly was generated, in case you need to know immediately what happened after the anomaly was generated. In this chart, you can choose the way that the information is presented. You can choose to view it by percentage of all records, number of records, or population rate. And here on the lower left, you can change how you view this information as well. So right now we're broken down by age group for this particular anomaly, but you can break it down by facility, by gender. You can break it down by zip code. If you're using zip code, you can also view it by population rate. You can also turn on a comparison. So you can compare this data for the last 90 days, I believe, of data, and you can compare it to any particular day and see how the records differ, if at all. Another thing that can be done from this screen is the disposition of the anomaly can be changed. So right now it is new, and if you click on that, an investigator can change the disposition. So if we want to mark it as a health event or a severe weather event or duplicate, that's possible from here. This anomaly can be, an investigation can be created for an anomaly here, and it can also be included in an existing investigation. I will warn you that once this is done, it cannot be undone. So once an anomaly is associated with investigation, it's always going to be associated to that investigation. You can also show inactive anomalies, which are any anomalies that are already associated with an investigation or that have had their disposition changed to anything other than new. Those would be considered inactive anomalies. So we'll jump on over here to the Investigations tab. You're going to see that it's set up pretty much the same way. You can see the particular investigation details on the upper left, your map on the upper right. You can see any associated anomalies and the current state of the anomalies in the lower right. And in the lower left, you can see any notes from the investigator of this particular investigation. You can also change the investigator, change the investigation name, associate anomalies, add comments, or update the state of the investigation from this screen. From there, we're going to go head over to Maps. And as you can see, I went ahead and I plotted vomiting by county. And so if you look here at the state of New Jersey, you can see that it's broken down by county, and you can use this key here at the bottom right, and it looks like we're looking at over 2 standard deviations for the orange counties there. So this would be useful to look at trends that may not be generating an anomaly, but that are geographical in nature and that would be possibly indicative of, like I said, a healthcare trend. So what we can do here is we can change how we view. We can view it by county, we can view it by zip code if we want more granular data, so we can do that. So as that's populating, there we go. So that gives you a little bit more of an idea of these zip codes that are higher than your average, so over 2 standard deviations above your average. Some of you may have access to this marker here allows you to mark for air quality. So for example, if you were looking at some kind of respiratory infection or asthma, and you were wanting to look at the air quality for that particular area, you can choose to mark that as well. As we can probably expect, it's fine now. As we can tell by these green clouds, it says it's good. But especially in the summer, that's not always the case. And we can multi-select here just as in the chart screen as well. You can also, if you'd like, you can change the analysis method here. You can also condition your data, choose how you represent it, much like the charts tab. I'm going to briefly go through reports here. Some of you may have access to the report tab. This is where you can look at specific reports if you'd like. The ILI admissions report is especially important, since I know those are reportable. So let's go ahead and pull up the report. There we go. So in this report, you can see the facilities, you can see the total registrations, total admissions, and admission rate, and then you can see everything respectively as well that I just mentioned for ILI specified registration, fever and ILI admissions. So this is particularly useful when you're trying to track ILI admissions in your county, in your township. And so there are several other reports that are available. And so if you have any questions on anything specifically, we can go over that. But if you have access to the reports and you want to look through them, and let me know if you have any questions, that would probably be the most efficient way to do that. And then briefly in the options tab, this is where you can change your password if you'd like. You can review your information and change it if necessary, and those changes would be reflected in our system. And that looks to be the end of our demo. So I'm going to go ahead and end our recording.